I don't have time for this.
Neither do I.
Oh. Hi there, Warden.
This is going to get out of here. I know that your schedule is super busy these days, but maybe you care to listen.
You got my attention.
It's not easy to describe Wanted Dead as just one thing. It feels like a melange of games from across the spectrum thrown together. You have a cover-based shooting invoking the likes of Gears 5 or Outriders, and then melee combat that reminded me of Devil May Cry and even Scarlet Nexus at times. Then it sprinkles in vibes from the Yakuza games of all things, but also it's reminiscent of a FromSoft game at times. It sounds crazy and muddled, providing a pretty unique overall experience, but can a game juggling so many elements stick the landing on them all? In Wanted Dead, you play Lieutenant Hannah Stone, who is part of the zombie unit in Hong Kong's police force. Set in a dystopian future, you'll soon uncover a corporate conspiracy that will see you tackling large swathes of gang members, mercenaries and the like just to stay alive. Your weapons are a katana for hack and splash melee combat and a small range of guns that can help pick off enemies from afar. You'll journey through various urban environments, clearing rooms and corridors of enemies before you can proceed to the next area. Initially, Wanted Dead feels like it wants you to do battle on its own terms. You have long-range shootouts with gun-toting enemies and then have intense melee battles with the sword-wielding foes in your way, but before long, you'll realise the reverse is often more viable and enjoyable. Ducking in and out of cover to close the gap on shooting enemies and then running them through with your sword is always satisfying, and this leaves bullets spare to pop into the defenceless melee wielders as they approach you, which helps take them down too. This epiphany makes Wanted Dead a fun and manageable experience during the first few levels at least. You'll find you have an answer for whatever the game throws at you, and even the boss fights, while suitably grand, feel approachable once you understand their nuances. The melee combat in particular, where swings of your sword can be combined with shots from your pistol, is very cathartic. Using this on enemies that have been damaged allows you to trigger one of many gruesome finishing moves with a single input, and you'll find yourself smiling at the TV as blood and death rain down from on high. But after a while you get this nagging feeling that Wanted Dead is running out of steam. Difficulty in later levels feels forced, with it predominantly achieved by putting more and more enemies between you and the next checkpoint, and making more of those enemies stronger variants of the grunts you faced in earlier levels. Now this is fairly standard for the genre, particularly those with fond memories of the Ninja Gaiden series, but in 2023 it feels flat and frustrating, particularly when it feels like padded difficulty rather than a well-designed challenge. To be clear, Wanted Dead should absolutely get harder as it progresses, otherwise it'd become a passive experience, but ramping up that difficulty by introducing multiple enemies who can survive multiple full clips, or melee enemies who require a parry and dodge dance lasting minutes each time, become tiresome quickly and obviously brutally punishing if you dare to make a mistake. That feeling of having an answer to whatever the game throws at you quickly vanishes, and it becomes more of a war of attrition. Some will have that required patience, but some won't. In fairness, Wanted Dead does have some mechanics that help strengthen Stone on her journey to combat the increasing difficulty. These include a skill tree that can be accessed at any point to unlock new moves, offensive options and other buffs which are permanent. But you'll find you max out that skill tree long before the end of the game, meaning you have less answers for those difficulty hikes. Additionally, at each checkpoint there's the option to interact with a gunsmith via a drone and tweak your weapon. Each new checkpoint unlocks a new mod that alters various stats on your main weapon, maybe focusing more on accuracy or damage to suit your preference. But in reality, your gun never feels like it's getting notably stronger. Sure, the numbers might go up overall, but not by enough to make a clear difference in fights. Plus, again, after a certain point, you just stop receiving additional mods at checkpoints, and much like the skill tree, this feels like a mechanic that stops before the end, again running out of steam. And it's worth mentioning the camera in Wanted Dead 2. In big open spaces it works absolutely fine, adjusting well to where you would want it, and you can also control it if you want to. However, in tight rooms, corridors or corners it could become problematic, wildly spinning around, giving you a new perspective without warning, and in a game requiring precision parrying or reflexes, this can make a tough situation unnecessarily harder far too frequently. It's been a bit of a roller coaster playing Wanted Dead because it starts off so strongly. The combat is responsive, satisfying and varied enough to keep you hooked, and the level of challenge there stops it from becoming mind-numbingly tedious. The sections in between missions unlock shooting ranges to hone your skills and wacky mini-games to try your hand at for a change of pace. The unravelling backstory to Stone is interesting, and the anime art style of the cutscenes is engaging and well done, even if some of them are a little bit on the long side. But the bulk of the game is those combat sections, and this is where it runs itself into the ground despite its great ideas and competent execution. Your fun and optimism in the first few levels transform into tedious frustration, and it's such a shame. For those who can stomach the repetitive nature of the difficulty, you'll find plenty to love here, and that satisfaction from beating it will feel all the sweeter. Sadly though, others will look elsewhere for more finely crafted challenges that feel more balanced throughout, and for that reason I'm going to score Wanted Dead as 6.5 out of 10.
Fire away!
Hi there, hope you enjoyed that review of Wanted Dead by Chris Hyde. If you did, please hit like and subscribe, maybe tag that bell icon too so you're kept up to date with everything we post going forward. And if you want to go and support us via our Patreon, we appreciate everything that you guys do for us. It helps us keep doing this for you. In the meantime, I've been Mick Fraser for God is a Geek. That was Chris Hyde's review of Wanted Dead, and you guys have been lovely. Bye.